to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel. Cayman's bigger, better network.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
For the Record.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees. So fair. Thanks for joining. Thanks to you for joining me here on Radio Cayman. The pulse of our nation, the Cayman Islands, if we can consider ourselves to be a nation while we're still in British overseas territory, there are those of us who have national aspirations, as well, to be the masters of our own destiny. So, the pulse of the Cayman Islands. This, of course, is Radio Cayman, and you're listening to For the Record. I am your host, Orrett Connor. Here on Radio Cayman and For the Record, we are your gateway to the movers and shakers of our nation, and occasionally we will also delve into the pages of our history. We are live here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. In the studio with me this morning, none other than that beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. You can call us on our toll-free number, provided courtesy of Flo, that toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. WhatsApp us, 925-3261. Follow us on YouTube by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. We're also on Facebook, and you can email us at talktooc@gmail.com. Of course, folks, we are here to listen to your voice, as your voice matters. So join us on For the Record this morning, Wednesday, the 7th day of February 2024, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. And of course, this segment of the For the Record, the birthday shoutouts, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, proud to support your birthday shoutout, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. For the Record, birthday shoutouts also brought to you by Superior Auto. Superior Auto, of course, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570. Let's do that all over again. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. So let's look at some of those persons who are celebrating a birthday today. We told you the month of February is a very, very busy month when it comes to birthdays. We have Mr. Larry Scott, who is celebrating his birthday today. Miss Lillian Taylor also celebrating a birthday. Mr. Gabe Powell Sr. celebrating his birthday. Javon Elvire celebrating a birthday. Kevin Marshall also celebrating a birthday today as well. Tomorrow we have, I want to make sure I pronounce this right now, Araceli Colina celebrating a birthday. Ellen Solomon also celebrating a birthday tomorrow, the 8th of February. Judith Penn celebrating her birthday on February the 8th. Maria Strobel and LaShawn Tanks all celebrating their birthday tomorrow as well. And I do have another birthday shout out that came in early this morning. Let's look at that. So special birthday greetings going out to Kai Jefferson, and he will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow also on the 8th of February, and the birthday greetings are coming from his parents, Dwight and Tracy, grandparents, brother Khalil, and sister Keliani, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Kelani, and the rest of the family. So, Mr. Kai Jefferson celebrating his birthday tomorrow, and birthday greetings coming from his parents, Dwight and Tracy, grandparents, brother and sister as well. I believe that is all we have for the birthdays this morning so far, but if you know someone who's celebrating a birthday or any other special event, please let us know, and we will give them a shout out here on the For the Record birthday shout outs. The WhatsApp number 925-3261. And again, we are extremely thankful for the sponsors of For the Record birthday shout outs. Coca-Cola, proud to support your birthday shout outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Wholesalers. Accept no substitutes, folks. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Superior Auto. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune. Call them at 949-9570 or 525-9571. We're going to take our first commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Thomas Eddington Bush, 1949-1989. Known affectionately by everyone in Cayman as Ed Bush was instrumental in the promotion of sports throughout the Cayman Islands. Ed was an avid sportsman who started playing football and cricket at the age of 15. He introduced the Cayman Islands to live broadcasting of sporting events on Radio Cayman. He worked for Radio Cayman for 15 years right up until his death. He was one of the station's most enthusiastic announcers and played a central role in the start of what is known now as the PM show on Radio Cayman. He was honored posthumously for his significant contributions to sports in West Bay when the Ed Bush playing field was dedicated and opened in 1994.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Register, get your clues, start your engines, find the answers. The Rotary Central Gumball Rally is just around the corner. Exciting questions, exciting answers, exciting prizes for rally car themed, rally preparation, gumball rally spirit, accuracy, and more. Find the finish line and win prizes. Saturday, February 10th. 11:30 a.m. for on-site registration. Start location, Cricket Square, Georgetown. Only $125 per car a team of 2 to 4 persons. Pre-register for this most exciting scavenger hunt at RotaryCentralKY.com or call 936-1344 for guidance. The Rotary Central Gumball Car Rally, a fun event, not a race event. Proceeds address projects around mental health in the Cayman Islands. Rotary Central Gumball Rally, helping create hope in Cayman and the world.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
You don't need to be great to start, but you sure do need to start to be great. We've all been there. The little put when we try to start the car. Starters and alternators will eventually go. When life happens to your car, Superior Auto can save your day. Superior Auto offers complete starter and alternator repair. Superior Auto, 525-9571 or 949-9570. Superior Auto, they keep your car in tune.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Welcome to a new year with Digicel. Elevate your mobile experience by switching to our prepaid or postpaid plans. Enjoy more data, seamless communication, and uninterrupted entertainment. Plus, make the switch now for a chance to win exciting rewards. Stay connected, entertained, and make 2024 your year with Digicel. Because better connections make a better year.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. We have about 8 minutes before we go to our 8 o'clock news. We have been asked to give a big birthday shout out to Miss Elma Cacho this morning as well. She's celebrating her birthday today, so we want to say happy birthday to Miss Elma Cacho, celebrating her birthday today as well. The sender didn't identify themselves, but I'm sure that it is coming from friends and the family as well. Let's share, of course, the northwester that we experienced yesterday and still feeling some of the effects of it as well today. Some people have been extremely surprised by it, or some have also been. What description could I use? they have not had never seen anything like it before, never experienced anything like it before. Of course, over the past few years, or Northwesters, and we may say Northwester, but the old Cayman saying was Norwester. And of course, the magazine that was published by Mr. Desmond Seals, late Desmond Seals, was also Norwester, N-O-R with an apostrophe and W-E-S-T-E-R. And we used to have strong Norwesters here in the Cayman Islands. And I sent out to one of my WhatsApp groups, anyone remembered the Sand Hole opposite Emsley Memorial Church, and right next to where what we would have called the big school, because you had Dobson Hall, which was the primary school, which was on the northern end of the Fort George, and then on the southern end of Fort George, you had the bigger school. In between that, of course, we had a garage there. Ramon had a garage in there as well, and then you had the bookstore that was run by the Pantons right there as well. And the Sand Hole was located right where the terminal is now. And when you had the Norwesters, the Sand Hole would get filled up, and it would stay like that for days, and we were able to use it as a swimming pool. And it was a huge area. Of course, it was filled in to make way for the port as well. But there were many people who didn't know that sand hole was there, of course, because they were born in later years as well. But what would also be interesting to see when this nor'wester is over, whether or not it has deposited more sand on the beach or whether it has taken it away as well. And that will all depend on the tides, but it will be interesting to see as well. And you would have heard this on our bulletin board, but I will repeat it this morning following the latest weather update from the National National Weather Service and assessments by the Department of Education Services Facilities Unit. The Ministry of Education advises that all educational institutions will reopen today, Wednesday, the 7th of February. Government schools will contact parents and guardians of students in areas affected by ongoing road closures to discuss alternative arrangements for bus pickups and drop-offs. For the latest updates on road closures, you can visit the official Cayman Islands government platform, www.gov.ky as well. So that's the news, on that as well. But there were some spectacular videos and footage being circulated showing the wave activity, the effects of the nor'wester as well. And those were extremely interesting. I also saw some comments about individuals putting themselves at risk to take particular photos or whatever, not only putting themselves at risk, but if something happened to them, then those who would have to attempt to rescue them, their safety would be put at risk as well. Of course, some people don't really appreciate the seriousness, of these issues as well. No doubt there will be a whole lot of talk about flooding as well, and all of those residences that are located not only on the seaside, but near the sea, and the flooding that has taken place as well. And yesterday's event is a stark reminder for all of those who feel that they can challenge Mother Nature, that they can ignore Mother Nature. This will be a wake-up call, hopefully, for you again. Of course, there are persons who have expressed concerns about insurance policies. whether or not we will see an increase in those for claims that may be made. And those persons who have chosen to build on the high ground, inland, who were not affected, questioning why should they then have to pay for the possible increases in premiums when they have done the right thing, the proper thing, by ensuring that they did not build in areas that were susceptible to any type of flooding as well. So those are legitimate questions that are being asked, and of course, no doubt, will continue. One of our listeners has reminded me that the bookstore was run by Sama Parsons, and Terrence Parsons as well ran that bookstore. And of course, across the street from the bookstore, you had, we knew him then as Ochester, and then later on, people knew him as the farm soldier, Patterson. He had his record shop right across from the bookstore, the book and comic store as well. But that sandhole was a man-made can't call it an edifice, but it was nature made. Let's put it that way. It was nature made by nature, and it was a natural swimming pool when it was full. There were areas of it that were deep, and then there were areas that were shallow as well. So you could stand in some areas, some other areas you would have to swim in. But those were the good old days in the Cayman Islands. Now we have filled up everything with concrete or with marl or with crusher run or something else. Folks, Mother Nature has come to take it back, but while that concrete may be a little bit hard, if what is predicted as far as the effects of global warming, we're likely to see more and more severe nor'westers and hurricanes as well. Folks, top of the hour, the 8 o'clock news. When we return, the phone lines will be open. We have no guest in the studio today. Lots to talk about. We'll talk about the Minister for the Overseas Territories who should be here in the Cayman Islands. It looks like some of the people in the BVI were surprised that he showed up there as well, and I share that with you, even though it would be unusual for a minister to show up in an overseas territory without advance warning as well. But we can talk about that. We can also talk about the British Virgin Islands and their new draft immigration policy. Let's take a look at that and see what they're looking to implement as well. Folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Studio time now by Foster's is a minute after 8.
Ni hao foodies, get ready for some dim sum delights now at Foster's Camana Bay with classic flavors like a savory chicken teriyaki, a mouth-watering shrimp shumai, a tantalizing vegetarian shiitake, and so much more. Available in the Foster's Bay Market Cafe, Asian and Wok Bar for only $1.49 each, and the option to pick any two of our classic sauces like black vinegar and chili, sweet and sour, or our famous chili bang sizzle.
I can't keep my taste buds waiting any longer. Let's go!
Foster's, better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Work continues this morning to deal with the aftermath of this week's near gale force winds and rough seas. Let's check in with Hazard Management Cayman Islands Director Danny Coleman.
Cayman Islands National Weather Service have discontinued the gale warning,
and downgraded the marine warning to a marine advisory. Obviously, there's still lots of cleanup to be done across the island, in particular on the west side in 7 Mile Beach area and downtown, as well as West Bay and parts of the sister islands. So that will continue this morning, as well as our damage assessment teams from planning, PWD, hazard management, and various other agencies will be out assessing the damage. Work will continue in the Office of Hazard Management in collaboration with our stakeholders. And further information will be coming out throughout the day.
With today's calmer weather, Ministry of Education officials have reopened all schools after Tuesday's closure. In other news, a judge-alone trial is scheduled to get underway today in Grand Court. An expat on a work permit accused of bringing guns into the country illegally. Radio K-Man's Jevi Ebanks reports.
Anton Parajan is charged with importation of firearms. On Tuesday, he appeared before Justice Marlene Carter for legal arguments. The defense is seeking to argue that Mr. Parajan did not break the law because he had contact with law enforcement before arriving on the island about bringing the firearms with him. The prosecution argues that Mr. Parajan did not have permission to bring the guns, nor was he allowed to have the weapons in Cayman according to the Firearms Act. The prosecution says that the provisions in the Firearms Act apply to travelers in transit and not those staying in the Cayman Islands. Mr. Parajan is on island on a 2-year work permit. The prosecution says that the defense interpretation of the law would allow anyone to bring guns into the Cayman Islands, which is not what the Parliament had in mind when the legislation was drafted and published. Justice Marlene Carter is expected to rule on the legal arguments, and the case is scheduled to begin. Javi Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
The Ministry of District Administration and Lands completes and releases an updated aerial photography layer for the Cayman Islands. Radio Cayman's Felicia Reckon-Salins reports.
The project, overseen by Chief Surveyor Darren Kelly, was executed by the Department of Lands and Survey, utilizing state-of-the-art technology to capture orthomosaic aerial imagery. The National Aerial Photography Layer is a critical record of the Department of Lands and Survey and has been updated every 4 years for over 2 decades. This imagery serves as a crucial tool for various government departments, including the Department of Environment, Department of Planning, National Roads Authority, and more. It is extensively used for development planning, environmental monitoring, coastline changes, boundary dispute resolution, court cases, and accident reconstruction. The last update of this scale was conducted in April 2018, making the 2023 aerial survey a significant milestone. The project involved the acquisition of imagery in February 2023, including topographic data such as buildings and roads. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
With the BBC News, I'm Roisin Hasty. A day before national elections in Pakistan, 2 bomb explosions have targeted the offices of an election candidate and a political party in Baluchistan province. More than 20 people were killed and many others injured. Sustained bombardment by Russian missiles and drones has killed 3 people in Kyiv and another in the city of Mykolaiv in southern Ukraine. Parts of the capital are without power. Sweden's public prosecutor has closed an investigation into who blew up the Nord Stream gas pipelines between Russia and Germany. Probes in Denmark and Germany continue. The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is having talks with Israeli and Palestinian officials as he continues efforts to negotiate a ceasefire in Gaza. Hamas's response to a framework deal put together last week envisages 3 stages of truce. Dozens of inmates on death row in Zimbabwe are set to have a reprieve after the government announced that it's to abolish the death penalty. No one's been executed for nearly 20 years. A man convicted of involvement in attacks against civilians in both Brussels and Paris has been transferred from a Belgian jail back to France. Salah Abdeslam is the only surviving assailant in the Paris attacks of 2015. Rights researchers say a Chinese government app aimed at preventing fraud could be used to monitor Tibetans. Their investigation found that the app could monitor texts and access personal data. That's the latest BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Boddentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit Valley Med Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Live happy, live healthy with Valley Med Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Love is in the air, and this Valentine's Day, why not gift something truly extraordinary? Presenting the Institute for Essential Care's exclusive pre-Valentine seminars, a journey into the depths of the male and female minds, the gift of understanding. Are you ready to explore the intricate world of your loved one's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors? Join us for Seminar 1, Let's Make Woman, on February 11th at 6:30 p.m. Delve into the beautiful yet complex world of the feminine mind, understanding her thoughts, decision-making processes, sexuality, emotions, and feelings. But wait, there's more. Seminar 2, Let's Make Man, kicks off on Monday, February 12th at 6:30 p.m. Uncover the secrets of the masculine mind, including sexuality, problem-solving, reasoning, thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to strengthen your connection and celebrate love in a whole new way. Register now at www.caymanessentialcare.com for those insightful seminars. And here's the cherry on the top. Snag the early bird discount fare before February 9th. That's www.caymanessentialcare.com. See you at the Institute for Essential Care's exclusive pre-Valentine seminars, because this Valentine's Day, give the gift of understanding. It's the perfect present for the one you love.
Hey gentlemen, you want to make her Valentine's Day extra special? Well, take her shopping at the Cayman Islands Agriculture Show. You get all the food you can eat, she gets all the plants and treats. It's a win-win situation. It's happening Ash Wednesday, February 14th. You can visit their Facebook page or CaymanAgriculture.com.
Say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip to LA. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way. The 8 a.m. Weather Report, brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Synopsis indicate the pressure gradient across the northwest Caribbean that contributed to the near gale force winds and extremely rough seas across the Cayman Islands has begun to weaken and will continue to do so over the next 24 hours. As such, the gale warning for the Cayman Islands has been discontinued. However, sea conditions remain very rough and a marine advisory is now in effect for all 3 Cayman Islands. All marine vessels are advised to remain in safe harbor until further notice. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures today will be in the low 80s. Winds will be north to northwest at 15 to 20 knots, with higher gusts becoming north to northeast from this afternoon. Seas will be very rough, with wave heights of 7 to 9 feet, becoming rough with wave heights of 5 to 7 feet by this afternoon. Marine advisory is in effect. Forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will fall to the low 70s tonight. Your winds will be north to northeast 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Small craft should exercise caution over the open seas for tonight. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 8:28, low tide this afternoon at 2:33, and a high tide again tonight at 7:35. The sun will set this evening at 6:20 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:58. And the outlook is calling for fresh northeasterly winds and moderate to rough seas expected across the Cayman area from this evening through Friday evening. Current temperature is 73, relative humidity is 54%, the barometric pressure is 30.50 inches and rising. The wind is out of the north at 8 knots, and the overnight low temperature was 71 degrees. That's the very latest on your weather report.
The 8 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
And by National Road Safety. Be empowered. Help make our roads safe. Take the road to zero. Say no more to road fatalities in 2024.
Good morning once again. Let's take a look this time at traffic. Coming from the east, expect delays as traffic is heavy on the Linford Pearson Highway. Also heavy traffic on Cool Road heading to Georgetown, and coming off of Bobby Thompson Way, steady traffic. Steady traffic off of the Linford Pearson Highway on Agnes Way. Delays expected. If you're coming from the West Bay four-way stop, expect light to moderate traffic flow. And traffic flowing pretty good on Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue. On the Esterly Tibbetts Highway, steady flowing traffic and continuing on to Huldah Avenue and also on North Sound Road. As we look to the Industrial Park area, traffic is moving along moderately. And that's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12. We'll give you another look at traffic. Have a good morning and drive safe.
Speeding is the highest cause of fatalities on Cayman's roads.
Brother, watch how fast my new car goes.
Got it!
But what if
he hadn't been speeding?
his friends hadn't been encouraging him?
What if we all just took the time to slow down and think? What if, as a community, we rose to the challenge of keeping our roads safe?
What if we all walked the road to zero
and decided no more in 2024?
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
And by National Road Safety. Be empowered. Help make our roads safe. Take the road to zero. Say no more to road fatalities in 2024.
Water Authority is empowering the future and building a legacy in STEM through its annual scholarship program. Applications are now open for the scholarship, valued at up to $40,000, for a student pursuing an undergraduate academic or technical vocational degree or diploma in a STEM subject relevant to the Authority's work. The deadline to apply is February 29, 2024. Visit www.waterauthority.ky to apply today.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio. Enjoy a mix of pop, hip-hop,
dancehall, urban gospel.
The Super Jam Show is
brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322. Also brought to you by
Cayman Airways. Call them at 949-2311 to book your non-stop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
Also brought to you by Superior Auto Center. Do it right the first time with Superior Auto.
949-9570
or 525-9571.
Superior Auto. They keep your car in tune.
Super Jam.
Also brought to you by
The Yum School Lunch Program. Now available at selected private and public schools across Grand Cayman.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Super Jam.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Our phone lines are open. To remind you, our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp 925-3261. So I was talking a little bit about the British Virgin Islands, and there's a talk show over there, and the host of that talk show was bemoaning the fact and reported that many top-ranking BVI officials were unaware that the UK Minister for the Overseas Territories, David Rutley, would arrive in the territory. I think he arrived there, was it maybe somewhere around the 4th of February? Goes on to say, my understanding is that persons had to cancel prearranged appointments in order to attend some important meetings. It is disrespectful to this territory that you think we should just shift everything to accommodate you. And that's what, those are the words of the talk show host, Damien Grange, on his show called Talking Points. The article then goes on to say it is unclear whether the statement included the Premier and other elected officials as well as civil servants. The government will be, and then it talks about the meetings that are taking place with the government. So maybe those elected officials were not part of the discussions. It would have, to me, highly unusual that the governor would not have alerted all of those persons who were intended to meet with the Minister for the Overseas Territories. Bearing in mind also, and I'm not trying to find any excuses for the governor of the British Virgin Islands, but they just had a change of governors as well. So a new governor, has come along. We know that here in the Cayman Islands, that the governor's office here on the 31st of January released, issued a press release informing of the visit to Cayman of Lord Sharp, and indicated that he would be in the Cayman Islands from the 6th to the 9th of this month, and that he would be meeting with, spend time with the Royal Cayman Islands Police, Customs and Border Control, and the Cayman Islands Coast Guard to understand law enforcement and illicit migration challenges that are faced by the jurisdiction, and also to explore what further support the UK can offer. Also said that he would take part in a civil contingency roundtable hosted by the Honourable Premier, Honourable Juliana O'Connor Connolly, and Hazard Management Cayman Islands to learn more about Cayman's excellent crisis preparedness model. Well, it was so opportune that we ended up with a very, very strong nor'wester during his visit. So I guess that also gave our officials here an opportunity to display our skills, to display our efficiency, to show how we react to these situations as well. But bear in mind also that the British Virgin Islands, they are still under what in the old days we would say under heavy manners by the UK government, because the UK government is of the view, and they have expressed it, that the elected government of the British Virgin Islands have been extremely slow in implementing the recommendations of a commission of inquiry report and those recommendations that were made in that report. And this current Minister for the Overseas Territories has also reminded them that if they fail to implement them in a timely manner, that there are other options that the United Kingdom government has as well. Not sure what the BVI elected officials plan on doing, but there has been a lot of chatter about independence. They, of course, will be looking also to renegotiate their constitution as well. As far as the United Kingdom is concerned, we're likely to have an election this year, I believe. And the way that things are looking, we see many Tory MPs, those are Conservative MPs, some who are choosing not to stand in their constituency again. And the way that the tea leaves are reading now, the Tories will not be returned to power in the United Kingdom. That means, folks, that you will have a Labour government. Labour governments, as far as some overseas territories are concerned, including, I would say, based on what I have seen, the Cayman Islands, could experience a rough ride from a Labour government in the United Kingdom, especially if you end up with ministers like Chris Bryant, who at one time was a minister for the overseas territories, and that was when we were facing challenges with the tax savings agreements as well, and he put a lot of pressure on the Cayman Islands as well. So things may not be that rosy with a Labour government for some overseas territories as well. So it will be interesting to see how things play out in the future as far as that is concerned. But like I said, the Minister for the Overseas Territories pointed out that there were other options that the United Kingdom has if they fail to implement in a timely fashion the recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry that were made and that are being slow to be being implemented as well. Okay, any callers? Ms. Susan, no callers? One caller? Okay. We can grab that caller while I find this other article as well. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, O.C.
Morning. How are you?
I'm good. I was calling you for a correction, but somebody beat me to it. So, to give you an idea, everybody out here is listening to the talk show, which is good. But we just need them to speak up a little bit more about what's happening in the country. But yeah, it was in Panton. It was my
Parsons.
Yeah, that owned that bookstore.
Yeah.
But I'm just driving down South Sound Road, and I tell you, I mean, some of the nastiest drivers on the face of the earth, I swear they have to be in this country. Because what I just experienced, I mean, I could not believe my eyes. They got the whole right-hand lane blocked just trying to get into one turn by that little school there by the water tank there for flowers. Where they had that water tank. I think it's Montessori.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That little daycare center there.
Mm-hmm.
They're using that road, and they were blocked up, and the cars on the right hand side. I mean, I could not believe what they were doing. But we'll see. On another topic, I was sent a video a couple of days ago about Smith's Cove, and in that video, I mean, there was more alcohol that I saw in that video. I don't think Jake Scott had as much alcohol in their warehouse as I seen down at Smith's Cove. Who's supposed to be policing that? They showed me a sign also of the regulations of the beach there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, another caller shared that with us on Monday, I believe it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it plainly said no alcohol, no cigarettes, no parties, no this, no that. And who's it on the bottom it says Public Works Department. But who's supposed to be policing these areas?
Well, I think that now falls under the Public Lands Commission, I believe. That should fall under the Public Lands Commission because they're in control of all of the public lands. Whether or not now they have an enforcement arm, I think they have a small one. Whether or not the police then are required to enforce the law as well. It could be multiple agencies that may have responsibility for enforcing our laws.
Are these people also in this country, or they're in another country trying to police what is happening in Cayman? Because it just seems like that's the impression I'm getting, because there's nobody out there that is taking any responsibility. I mean, you put a sign up, right? Like I put a knocker on my door. If you come to my door, you use the knocker, right? You don't just come to my house and come around the back and peep into my windows and see if anybody else at home. I mean, there's levels of respect that you have to go by, and I just don't understand what is happening and how these things can be happening, and they're not being, seriously looked into. I mean, it's way beyond me.
Mm-hmm,
I mean, you know what happens, when you have one little issue with whatever the case may be, and you leave it, right? And it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And then one of these days you look at it and you say, I need to do something about that. But you know what? It's a little bit late at that point in time. And that's what is happening in this country. See, things are being left, and then they come back and they say, oh, no, we can't do nothing about it now. I mean, come on, man. We Anyway, see, thanks for listening to me this morning again. But it's really, really frustrating to see what is happening in this country, and nobody has the audacity to say, you know what? We got just go and get these people off the sidewalk and make sure that they don't park their vehicles on the sidewalks, and we can bring law and order to this country again. It's just like the wild west. You do whatever you want, when you want, how you want, as long as you want. Thanks very much, Osia.
Thank you very much, Colin. I just want to say that I've seen some social media posts where persons are sleeping in their vehicles there, getting out, taking a shower, and maybe heading to work as well. I want to talk more about that as well, because one would then question, why is that happening in the Cayman Islands? If they're here on a work permit, what are the responsibilities of their employers? What should we be doing about them as well? We do have a caller on hold. We're going to take a commercial break. As soon as we return, we will take that caller, so don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Grand Cayman's biggest one-day family fun day is back. The 55th Cayman Islands Agricultural Society Agriculture Show at the Stacey Wackler Agricultural Pavilion in Lower Valley. Ash Wednesday, February 14th. Cooking competition, pony rides, petting zoo, beautiful baby show, Miss Agriculture Queen and Princess competition, lots of local musical entertainment, Roscoe the Mechanical Bull, and so much more. Gates open at 7 a.m. with ample parking. General admission is only $10. Children ages 2 through 11, $5, and under 2 are free. For more information, visit them on Facebook or Instagram at Cayman Agriculture. The 55th Agriculture Show in Lower Valley, Ash Wednesday, February 14th.
It's time to update your information. If you've recently changed your postal address, phone number, or email address, please let your Water Authority customer service team know. Remember, non-receipt of a bill does not constitute a release from liability for payment. Visit our website, www.waterauthority.ky, to download and fill out our customer information update form, or contact our customer service team at info@waterauthority.ky or braccs@waterauthority.ky, or call 949-2837.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going straight to the phone lines as promised. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
Islands. This is Minister Brian.
Good morning, Minister. How are you?
I am blessed, thank the Lord. I called in this morning to just give you a small briefing as to, I know that the public would always want to hear from the members. And unfortunately, I'm away right now, but I'm trying to urgently get back home for tomorrow, as it was away on official business. But I've been in constant communications with my chief officer, CETA, the Cayman Islands Tourism Association. I'm talking to the various property owners on the 7 Mile Beach corridor, where has seen some effects of the weather patterns recently. Happy to report that none of it is severe, what we would normally get in an all-rester. Some of the properties in the West Bay corridor has gotten a lot of water damage, but nothing that we can't address in short order in respect to clear up and clean up, and much of that is already starting to be prepared. I know the Minister in charge of Public Works is already trying to get the crews together and plans together for equipment to start doing what they have to do in respect to clearing things up and getting things back on track as the weather is slowly starting to go away. It's going to obviously be like that for a little bit more, but not as severe as it was. So it's important that the public know that we're aware, particularly in my capacity as Minister of Tourism, because this affects our tourism parks as much as we can. So I've given assurances to CETA, who is the association that deals with all the stakeholders and property owners and so forth, to know that the government through the minister is here to assist in any way we can, that we can justify, because we can't just spend the people's money to take care of their properties, but there's a balance of working together to make sure we get back up and going as soon as possible in respect to clearing and making sure that there's no structural damage and so forth. So I've spoken to some of the hotel owners already. No severe damage. My team from DOT has already gone out and assessed most of the beach. happy to say that some places have even got back a little bit more beach. I'm still trying to see nothing that I would say has resolved the beach erosion problem. But in these types of weather patterns, the sand shifts from one side to the other. And only when the wave action has ceased altogether, we can truly see the full impact of it. Particularly for another area of concern is the Turtle Center, where we know we deal with a lot of the pumps and so forth to pump the water into the Turtle Center grounds. So the weather has caused a bit of some blockages there, but we're clearing that out so that the flow of water is going back and forth easily, and the turtles are fine. But most of it is going to be a cleanup exercise to make sure that things can run efficiently, particularly on the roads and so forth. Happy to say that more to the eastern side of the island has gotten limited effects because the weather was coming from the east, coming from the west, going east.
Right.
Yeah, so the assessment on those sides is not much impact. As you know, that Pedro falls under me, Botanic Park falls under me, Hell also falls under me as constitutional responsibility. Those areas wasn't impacted heavily. If anything, it was just a branch or two falling off of a tree. So there's a little bit of debris falling, which just takes probably a half a day of clearing, and private property owners would be doing a lot of that themselves. So I encourage the public to like we always do, is join hands together, get things done and cleaned up quickly so we can get back to normal and continue to offer the amazing tourism product that we do, as well as to allow efficient quality of life for all of us to operate under. This is not something we haven't dealt with before. Just going to take a day or two to clear it all up and get back to where we're at. Some people, unfortunately, I don't want to seem insensitive, have had some significant damage, particularly from a water perspective, that may have some cost factors for them individually. And I hope that they have coverage so that they can not withstand that cost on their own from an insurance perspective. But just want the public to know that even though I'm not there and I'll be back tomorrow afternoon because I had to switch out the flights and try to get back home earlier, I've been on the phone for the last 24 hours in and out with my team to make sure everybody's doing what they have to do and where everybody can be to assist. One big part that is of concern, and I'm happy to say that the team is already on the ground, which is in Kimmenbrack. Kimmenbrack has had some damage to the port over there. The chairman, deputy chairman, and directors on a flight, I think they probably have already landed and have organized to go to the site with the Honorable Premier to assess the circumstances.
On that, Minister, there have been rumors, and maybe you can clarify them, as to the loss of any containers on the pier in the Bracken, whether, if there was a loss, whether or not those containers were empty or loaded.
I don't want to confirm or deny that until the team gives me a full update. And they're going to be on the ground, and I expect to have one by midday and have some statements out to the public as soon as I can. But I would just ask that the teams that are in charge of these various areas give the necessary amount of time to give a full, true assessment and a true report. I know public wants the information as soon as possible. We would hate to give out the information and it be incorrect, and speculation will happen. We have seen some video circulating already of a container in the water on the shoreline. So obviously we know that we've had some containers made it into the water. But in cases where they're floating like that, their chances are they're empty. I'm more concerned at this particular point is the structure of the dock and its support to make sure that it is sound to get operations back going once the wave actions have ceased. That's the most important part. If a container has fallen or damaged, that's one container. What we have to make sure is that the operations to import goods and foods to the people of Kimmenbrack are still available to be done. So as the weather is ceasing, we can take a look at the structure of the dock itself to make sure that when we put the cranes out there to take the containers off the barge, that it's still sound and safe for our port operators. That's the most important thing. So we'll have that assessment hopefully by the end of the day, if the weather allows. But I just want the public, as well as Kim and Brackers, to know that that very important matter is being assessed as we speak, and it's an urgent matter. We are already starting to consider whatever necessary resources they will need to get things up and going, if there is need to be that. The warehouse itself did get some damage, but again, that doesn't stop the operations. The biggest thing is the security of the dock itself to be able to handle containers coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the most severe thing under my area of responsibility. I want to just let the public know that, we're dealing with things, and we'll have more clearer answers hopefully tomorrow or Friday. And I know that you'll hear more from the Honorable Premier as she intends to speak to the public, either by press release or otherwise soon. She's been busy all the last 48 hours herself, dealing with so many other matters. Just thought I'd give her a call. All right?
Okay, before you go, Minister, you mentioned those structures that may have experienced some damage in the tourism areas. Can you explain what you meant by what sort of assistance would need to be rendered to them from a government perspective, or do you believe that any would need to be?
Well, and that's a delicate balance that I have to assess on an individual basis, because it's a private sector business, and they make profits. So I can't use the taxpayers' money to do to clear up their properties or improve their properties. But it's in both of our interests, the public's and the private sector, to make sure that they get back up to business, make sure that the product that we're offering to our guests is up to standard, and also that they don't have to do any cancellations, because that's where we do make our tax revenue from.
I was going to ask about that, whether or not they're up to date, as far as their accommodation tax is concerned.
Oh, no. All of them are up to date. That's one thing we're good about the stakeholders. They pay on time.
Great. That's good to know.
But it's more about, you don't want properties saying, they had to cancel, 100 or more persons because they have to get the operations back up and going because of something. But the good news is nothing too severe like that. It's more about, the beachfront, their pools, their structural concerns, because some properties are close to the beach, some are not. Some are going to end up in a better place than they were before, because I've heard of, a couple of places getting 15 more feet worth of beach. So it's just about cleaning up the beach and whatever kind of debris and seaweed and stuff like that have come up. So we'll continue to fully assess it, but they as stakeholders also need to know that the government, through the minister, is aware and is here to assist where it's justified in respect to assisting in making sure that we can do anything that we can to help them. Roads is definitely one of them, because you want access to and from. And any right-of-ways to the beach is also important, so easy access to the beach. So these little things are the things that we're assessing and continuing to address one at a time. But I think that we should be in good standing within the next 48 hours, kind of back to normal, as long as the weather permits.
Okay, Minister, I want to thank you. Really appreciate you calling in, keeping the people of the Cayman Islands up to date with what's happening. And despite the fact that you are overseas, you seem to be very much informed and know exactly, what is happening as well. And I want to thank you for that.
No problem. Thank you so much, and God bless you, and God bless your listeners.
Safe travels to you as well, Minister.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it.
So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. One of our listeners said Smith Bacadere. I don't know where the term Smith Cove came from, but the proper Caymanian term is Bacadere. And I'm going to share something with our listening and viewing audience from a site, and it's called Bacadere, a world-class marina community, Georgetown, Cayman Islands. I'm going to share that with you. But just to say, when we fail to nip things in the bud, that is when it continues to be repeated and repeated and repeated, and then becomes a part of the lexicon, becomes a part, of our verbiage here in the Cayman Islands. When we allow it to continue, people to repeat it over and over and over again. That is how you lose your identity. That is how your culture then, becomes watered down to a certain extent. If we had nipped it in the bud when they started to use this term Smith Cove and said, no, it has always been Smith Bacadere and it remains Smith Bacadere, we wouldn't be having this discussion today and the questions arising about where in the world does Smith Cove come from. So this site here, and it speaks about a maritime heritage, and it says the term Bacadere has been used by Caymanians for centuries, but you will not find it in any English dictionary. It is derived from the French débarcadère, meaning a landing place for boats, and is synonymous with the Spanish words embarcadero or embarcado, meaning a place from which to embark or disembark on a nautical voyage. Bacaderes are richly steeped in the Cayman Islands seafaring culture and history. And yes, we know now, I'm pausing there for a second, we know now about Smith Bacadere, but there were others, as well. And there were some where, fishermen just kept their boats, their boats in those little slits within the mangroves, and some of those were called Bacaderes as well. The article goes on to say, living in these tiny islands in the Caribbean, completely surrounded by some of the deepest waters in the world, the sea was an intrinsic part of life for early Caymanians. Indeed, for some 200 years of our island's history, just about every single male was making his living from the sea, whether it was sailing on the turtle schooners, which ranged, something blocking, turtle schooners, which ranged far and wide across the Western Caribbean to return with turtles on deck, or simply heading out to the nearby banks to fish. In a tiny catboat, they would have begun their voyage at one Barcadere or another and would have returned there to clean or butcher their catch of fish or turtle. Caymanians eventually became world-renowned mariners, sought after by the largest shipping companies as captains, navigators, and crew for these vessels. They were also recognized as master shipbuilders, another trade born of an obvious necessity. There's a part here, okay, the Barcadere since 1735, and I have to hurry this because we're going to soon reach headline news. Says the Georgetown Barcadere, what we know now as the port, holds the distinction of being the oldest documented Barcadere in the Cayman Islands. Quietly nestled in the southwestern shore of the North Sound or Georgetown Eastern coastline, it has been located at the tip of the North Sound Road since the early 1700s, as evidenced by the presence of Grand Cayman's earliest maps. It has remained in continuous use since at least as early as 1735, when it is noted and illustrated as a part of the original land grant in the Cayman Islands from the British Crown to John Middleton, Daniel Campbell, and Mary Campbell. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hey, good morning to you, Mr. Connor.
Good morning, good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. And yourself?
I'm fine, thanks.
Cool. I'm just calling to ask, perhaps you may know or certainly have access, or hopefully someone will hear, whether the persons who are in charge of reopening roads, clearing roads, if they're on it. I guess it's a little pet peeve of mine, only from previous times. We seem to be able to close roads very quickly, put a lot of signs and barricades up, but they never get picked up very quickly. And yes, we've had some weather. We've had worse, well, I guess in hurricane times. This was kind of a freaky one. But I just hope that they're cleaning it up, because the impact on businesses is huge in Central Georgetown, never mind the roads. If you're coming into Georgetown, it snakes all the way down to, I started Burger King on the 7 Mile Beach Road. Because everything is being fed through Eastern Avenue. You know, I'm raising it because, as I said, there's a precedence for closing things, and then they leave barriers up for a long time and nobody cleans it. So you call the police and they'll tell you it's not them. They're only given instructions to put things up. And then, so I don't know who's responsible. I'm just wondering if they're monitoring it and trying to quickly get things open. It just seems to sit there sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I see here where the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service issued a public advisory yesterday at 5:17 in the evening, talking about road closure. And is this something that you have observed, or are you just speaking in general terms?
No, I mean, this has happened previously, not as a result of necessarily where the systems just even function.
Okay, in general you're speaking then, yeah.
Where they'll close things, put barriers up, and then nobody go collect them.
Mm-hmm.
So in this time, I know that there's a cleaning process, and I'm just wondering if it's on the way, because we know the seas has drastically reduced. And you know, I don't think there's this connection between understanding not only the impacts of the links for how the traffic gets backed up everywhere else, but also businesses. That's a real thing, you know, that operate out of Center Georgetown. So just wondering if they're doing it, man.
Okay.
Yeah, they just sit on it, leave it, and I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm grateful that you brought it to our attention, because what that will give me an opportunity to do is then to share this public advisory from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service that is entitled "Roads Remain Closed as Inclement Weather Conditions Continue."
Yesterday evening?
Yeah, that was issued yesterday evening at 17 minutes after 5.
But Mr. O.C., the weather has drastically changed since then.
Yes, we know that.
We've had northwesters where the water just breaks by, say, 7-11 with a little bit of spray, and people are still going across. I'm just hoping that we're working on it, man. I know we had.
I'm sure that they are.
An event yesterday. Yesterday is not today. Yeah, man.
Well, but what they issued yesterday evening at 5:17 is in relation to today, because you know the events would have passed at that point in time. But thank you very much for that, caller. So it says here, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service is advising the public that the following roads will remain closed overnight due to the continued severe weather conditions. And there was a map that they put out there that indicated the red dots on the attached images provide a visual indication of locations. So it talks about Northwest Point Road in the vicinity of the Crack Conch, junction of Northwest Point Road / Town Hall Road, Eastern Avenue / North Church Street, Bodden Road, Mary Street, and it says here Broiler Road again. Yeah, I know, but the person writing this don't know much about the roads in the Cayman Islands and the areas of the Cayman Islands, because it is boilers, not broilers. And we have to correct them now, otherwise next week they will still be calling it broilers. And when we know Boilers Road will be changed to broilers, just like how Smith's Backer there was changed to Smith Cove. So we have to keep them on the straight and narrow right now as well. Folks, I'm just stirring things up. You know me. I'll do that sometime. It says road work will commence tomorrow, Wednesday, the 7th of February, once the weather conditions have subsided and it comes safe to do so. The public is hereby reminded to avoid these coastal areas as best as possible because they're still unsafe. An update will be provided once these areas have been made safe, and that includes Boilers Road, folks. Top of the hour, headline news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline news.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
A judge-alone trial is scheduled to get underway today in Grand Court after arguments made on Tuesday. The man is accused of bringing guns into the country illegally. Hamas has laid out a series of demands, including exchanging hostages for Palestinian prisoners and rebuilding Gaza in response to an Israel-backed ceasefire proposal. The armed group wants a full withdrawal of Israeli forces and an end to the war after 3 45-day truce phases. The offer is likely to be, quote, unacceptable to Israel's prime minister, who has called for a total victory in Gaza. The question is whether a middle ground can be reached to move the process on. Nikki Haley has suffered a humiliating defeat in the Republican primary in Nevada despite facing no competition in the absence of Donald Trump. She received fewer votes than none of these candidates by a large margin. The state governor had advocated voting in this way as a protest because Ms. Haley will skip Thursday's caucuses. Mr. Trump runs unopposed in that vote as he closes in on the presidential nomination. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. What I was sharing with you then came from the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. It was sent out yesterday at 17:17. Now, if you're using the 24-hour clock, 7:17 is 5:17 in the evening. So that is when that was sent out. Just for some clarity in relation to that. This person has written in and said, I hope that this weather is another reminder to the government. They say CPA, but I believe they may mean the CTA and developers about the dangers of building too close to the beach. And no, they probably mean CPA, Central Planning Authority. My apologies. My apologies. Shouldn't try to read into anything more than the writer has put down there. So government, CPA, and developers about the dangers of building too close to the beach. And the CPA should stop approving changes to the rules for beach setbacks. I would say we learn our lessons and then we don't learn our lessons in relation to this. Of course, there will be strong arguments to say that it is difficult to undo what has been done already with some locations because the structures are already there. But we certainly can look to the future and make plans in that regard as well. I was going to share an article with you. Hopefully I can find it still. And it had to do with Bermuda and Moody's report talking about the fact that storms are causing a crisis of affordability. And let's see if I can pull some sections of that. Says, well, it talks specifically about Bermuda. And it says that an associate director of commercial real estate at Moody's said hurricanes and other catastrophes were causing challenging market conditions for insurers. And she's quoted as saying, together, these factors have come together to create what we have been calling a crisis of affordability and availability for insurance and commercial real estate as well. Goes on to say that transactions have been stalling because borrowers are having challenges obtaining the insurance coverage required by their tenders without premiums being so high that they create a cash flow risk. Then we had this person who's managing director of a model product management said combined ratios have been more than 100% for the past 5 years, which means carriers were not taking in enough money to really cover their risks. She said that rising insurance rates over the past 5 years were creating an unhealthy market. Many people are feeling the pinch, myself included. I have noticed a doubling of my homeowner's premium in the last couple of years. It is impacting a lot of people. And she thought that more conversation was needed between client and carrier about improving properties as much as possible to protect against natural disasters such as hurricanes, and in her case, hurricanes and northwesters as well. So, folks, we see the writing on the wall. If you are still able to obtain insurance, you're fortunate. If you are, of course, obtaining a mortgage from a lending institution, they're going to require insurance. In some instances, not only insurance on the property, but maybe life insurance as well, to ensure that they are covered in the event of any potential losses as well. And of course, those persons who have taken the necessary precautions, who have built wisely and safely, at least from storm surge, they question, why should I have to pay more when I have done all that is necessary to ensure that my loss is minimal? But I guess I'm not an insurance expert, so I really don't know, how it works. Some people actually have taken the route of self-insuring, especially after encountering issues such as being underinsured when it came to claims. We saw a lot of that after Hurricane Ivan as well. So if your insurance is $5,000 per month, some people choose to take that but you have to make sure you do it. Take that $5,000 and put it one side. And every month you put it there, and you have your nest egg in the event that something happens, that you may be able to cover it through that process. Some people have chosen that, but it is extremely difficult or probably impossible for you to do it if your lender requires you to have proper insurance, on your property as well. So that may be an option for some, may not be an option for many as well. But as you know, with some insurance companies, or many of them, if you don't read the fine print, you don't know exactly what you are entering into until it comes time for you to make a claim. And then that is when everything hits the fan and questions are being asked, or you're being told you are underinsured, so we can't pay out, or you're overinsured and we're only going to give you this amount because this is what your property is valued at. This is the value of it as well. Oh, for those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands this morning, if you are experiencing any issues with roads being closed still, please let us know the roads that you have noticed that are closed, and we will try to determine exactly what the issue is in terms of reopening those roads as well. We may not know the extent of the damage that may have been caused by the seas crossing the roads. We know, for instance, that in low-lying areas like South Sound, we saw after Hurricane Ivan and the storm surge, they just ripped up all of the asphalt in that area, ripped the whole thing up, as well. We're not sure whether or not that may have occurred in other areas. And of course, we know that the western end of the island and northern end of the island is where most that were most impacted by the nor'wester as well. So it is extremely difficult to know exactly what's going on out there at this moment. We're trying to see if there are any more recent updates in relation to road closures or opening of roads. But if you're out there on the roads and if you see a situation where the roads are either open or still closed, please let us know. This will give us an opportunity to alert road users to avoid those areas as well. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Welcome to a new year with Digicel. Elevate your mobile experience by switching to our prepaid or postpaid plans. Enjoy more data, seamless communication, and uninterrupted entertainment. Plus, make the switch now for a chance to win exciting rewards. Stay connected, entertained, and make 2024 your year with Digicel. Because better connections make a better year. Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, talk a little bit about the comments by one of our callers in relation to Smith's Barcadere area. And I mentioned the fact that I saw on some social media groups where persons have actually visited. They're certainly more observant and extremely concerned about the situation that is taking place in Smith's Barcadere. And they have visited there. They have seen the same cars, the same vehicles there repeatedly at night, there in the morning. I've observed what is transpiring there. Some people, they say, are sleeping in their cars. They then go and take a shower, get ready for work, and they're gone. Saw something and can't confirm it, but it just said something like that. The water bill for that particular location at one point may have been somewhere around about $10,000 for the month, because also that the mobile car washes are going up there, as we're going there and filling up their tanks as well. Just giving it as the way I got it, not able to confirm it as well. But if there are persons on this island who are here on a work permit, who have been required to submit, to complete and submit accurate and relevant and current information in terms of where they are residing. And this is a part and parcel of the employer's obligation as well. And those persons are no longer residing there, but are living out of their vehicles and living in open public spaces, then that is something that really needs to be investigated. Because while we want to have a humane, compassionate immigration policy, we should not have a situation where people are living under or in substandard conditions. And while it may be hard, it may be tough, but if they're under those conditions, it may be better either for them or for us, or maybe for both, that they're no longer in the jurisdiction as a result of that. So those photographs that are going around and those cars that are there every day, every evening, and they're there in the morning, that is something that needs to be addressed, because we have seen here in the Cayman Islands, when you allow things to fester, they simply just get worse and worse and worse as well. So meanwhile, folks, we know that the British Virgin Islands have issued a draft immigration policy that they have sought feedback from the public on. Now, the feedback wasn't a whole lot of time. This was issued on I think it was the 29th of January. It was published, and I think they gave the public something like about until the 2nd of February or the 4th of February to respond to it. But the purpose of and the scope of their immigration policy, the purpose of the belonging and residency policy is to outline a fair, clear, and transparent framework and process by which individuals who are not deemed to belong, remember that term now, you belong to, that's a phrase that was used, a term that was used in old immigration legislation. So again, the purpose of the belonging and residency policy is to outline a fair, clear, and transparent framework and process by which individuals who are not deemed to belong or who are not permanent residents may be granted the privilege of attaining this status. It also responds to the policy recommendations of the review in response to B33 of the framework for the implementation of the Commission of Inquiry recommendations and other reforms. Following the publication of the review, which was written by Kedrick Malone, a series of consultations were held with the public, which also yielded valuable feedback incorporated into this policy. With this policy, government seeks to define clear pathways to residence and belonger status, balancing the aspirations of those who seek to call the territory home with the national interest. And here are the goals of the policy goals. The broad goals of this policy are to do the following. 1, establish policies and practices that facilitate sustainable population growth and dynamics management, discouraging uncontrolled and unsustainable growth while ensuring that the demographic changes align with the Virgin Islands' economic and social capacities. See here, they're talking about the demographics, folks. Demographics, what they're talking about is they're talking about populations and the balance of that population. Number 2, enhance economic prosperity and stability in the Virgin Islands by attracting and retaining individuals who positively, use that word, I'm going to emphasize it, who positively impact the local economy, thereby ensuring sustainable development and a robust job market. Goal number 3, implement clear and transparent immigration policies and procedures, providing stakeholders with a comprehensive understanding of the criteria and process involved in residence and belonger status decisions. I believe that part of it comes from the Commission of Inquiry recommendations, because they found that in the BVI, the cabinet there was making decisions and doing things that were not necessarily within their legislation as well. Goal number 4, develop and implement support programs that assist newcomers in integrating. Folks, listen to this one carefully. Listen to this one really, really, really good. Develop and implement support programs that assist newcomers in integrating into the Virgin Islands society, fostering a sense of belonging and facilitating a smooth transition into the local culture and community. Goal number 5, establish mechanisms for accountability and fairness in the decision-making process related to residency and belonger status in line with Recommendation 33 and other applicable guidance. And goal number 6, adopt and adhere to international best practice in immigration management, considering the diverse needs and aspirations of individuals seeking to become part of the Virgin Islands community. So what are the objectives of their policy? The 1, social cohesion and inclusivity. Promote social cohesion and inclusivity by facilitating the integration of newcomers into the Virgin Islands society, culture, and communities. Number 2, economic development and prosperity. Foster economic growth and prosperity in the Virgin Islands by attracting skilled workers, entrepreneurs, and investors who contribute to the local economy and job creation. I would say to that policy objective number 2, be careful how you thread on that. Be careful. You have to make sure you keep them on a short leash. Otherwise, they will run rampant. Number 3, cultural enrichment and national identity. Promote cultural enrichment and preserve the unique national identity of the Virgin Islands by welcoming individuals who contribute positively to society while protecting the rights of indigenous Virgin Islanders. Objective number 4, demographic sustainability. Address demographic challenges and sustain the Virgin Islands population by facilitating family reunification and attracting a diverse range of residents. Objective number 5, national security and border control. Enhance national security and effective border control measures to safeguard the well-being and interests of the Virgin Islands and its citizens. We have about 3 minutes before we go to our commercial break. We do have a caller. We'll take the caller, and if we have to interrupt the caller to go to the commercial break, we will allow them to stay online during that period if they so wish. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Hey, good morning, Doc. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
I'm okay. Yes, I tuned into your program late, but I was able to hear your comments about the Bacadeirs.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, the back there that you spoke about at the end of Sound Road. It's probably over 200 years old. Over that, because it is mentioned in the early history of our island, and it was part of one of the grants. I think it was 4 or 5 land grants from the governor of Jamaica to businessmen in Jamaica and in Bermuda. Campbell, Crombie, some of the people that you mentioned, and even Foster.
Yeah.
The whole of Georgetown.
John Middleton as well.
Middleton up into West Bay, the land was granted, and it was granted because of the mahogany forests that existed in that area, in the area, and at the end of Northside Road, the back there, they call it the North Sound back there. There was also there a sawmill that was owned by the Borden. It was called Borden Works.
Oh wow!
It was there to cut up the timber, and there was a back there also in South Sound where the timber was loaded onto the ships. It was called near a place called Poland Badam Point in South Sound.
Okay.
So there are a lot of back there. There's a back there. There's a back there down in Prospect. But the second comment I would like to make is about the people who is alleged to be living in their cars in the back there.
Okay, Doc. Before you start on that, let me interrupt you so we take the commercial break so that we don't have to interrupt in the middle of that discussion. Can you hold on?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Susan, we're going to take that commercial break now. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money transfer card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going to rejoin Dr. Steve McPhail on the phone. Doc, are you there?
Here.
All right, go right ahead, sir.
Yeah, the problem that we have with the alleged allegations about people sleeping in their cars and using the public facilities for their hygiene use, that stuff is appalling.
It is.
And it's because once people come from another country on a permit to work or something, there is no regulations after that. They're just left in the country to do whatever they want to do. And the problem that we have is that is our mantra. There is no monitoring or enforcement or inspection about where they live, where they go, even though if you read Section 9 of the Constitution, it says that we have the right to monitor them, their movement, whatever they do and stuff in the country, and that's not discriminatory. And yet we just say, okay, well, he's here, that's it. We got the money from the fees, from the permit, and they're allowed to do whatever they want to do. And one of the reasons I suspect that they are doing this is because of the economic standards in which we have set in the Cayman Islands. They cannot, the money that they make, $4, $6 an hour, so forth, cannot sustain them in the Cayman Islands and sustain their economic responsibilities to the places where they came from. And so they have to survive, and they have to survive here, and they have their families over there. And so what they do, they maximize the lack of enforcement here in the Cayman Islands, and they're doing that so that they can balance their economic situation and live here on the shoestring, on the public purse, and to send money home back to their country. It's like we don't even monitor our own business, public business here. And that leads me on to the next comment I would like to make about the containers and stuff in Cayman Brac. Why is it that you know that you have these kind of the weather patterns, and then you still have containers stocked up near the water edge, and you have a warehouse near the water edge? That should have been moved long time ago inland. Not only because of the weather conditions, but for security. Because anybody could come at night from another country and just go and take stuff out of the containers or put stuff in the containers. And the problem that we have is that, well, it works, so we don't try to improve it. It's there. We have been doing this from last year and the year before, and so we just leave it. And then when something happens and we start to react, those containers should not be stored in the waterfront. They should have been transported to a place away from the waterfront, like what we did in Georgetown. And the warehouse should not be on the waterfront either. That should be transported to some place out near the block or under the block or whatever it is, so that we can make sure that in an emergency that the warehouse would have food and materials that we need. I mean, I just don't understand what they're thinking. We seem to have no vision. As long as you do something and it works, halfway works, we just abandon it and go on to the next thing, and we don't improve things. And this is and we are going to be the architects of our own demise. It's going to happen from inside. It's not going to happen from us trying to to get internal self-government or independence. That's not going to happen. It's what happened to other countries, the lack of vision, the lack of responsibility, and so forth. And then we blame other people. Now we see here is illustrations about what happens to other people, when they do not impose restrictions and have visions of what their society should be and what they want their society to be. And then we blame other people also. And then when we have people that come on the forefront and say, enough is enough, we're not going to allow this anymore, and they start to do the job to protect their society, they get rid of them. Because it's easier then for them, the other people who are making the profits, to make more profits, and that is the bottom line. The bottom line is not to have a clean, democratic country where people are living, moving from one place to the other, moving from economic position to the other, moving from poor to lower class, from lower class to middle class, and so forth. That's not their objective. Their objective is to squeeze as much blood as possible from the body politics and from the economic system, and then move on to another place. This is what has been done. And if you look at the reason for wars all over the world, and the reason for famine, and the reason for people, millions and thousands of people moving from one place to another, that's the reason. They're looking for a better life. And so what we need to do, we need to set the standard here. This is the standard for the Cayman Islands, and we are not going to move from this standard. This is our vision. And if you don't fit into this, I'm sorry that how many people you need, we are not going to allow that to happen to us. And so when you have people who stand for those standards, they get rid of them immediately. And so this would go on forever and forever, and so forth.
Yeah, Doc, that's a problem. That's a problem that we have, because the main objective at the end of the day is for businesses to maximize their profits, and for many of those businesses, it's maximize their profits at any cost to anyone, including the Cayman Islands, including our environment, including our culture, including our standards of life that we have set. Their bottom line is what is of most importance to them. That is all that they care about. The question, I would ask the rhetorical question, how many of them know that their employers are living out of their cars? How many of them? And if they did know, would they do anything about it? You still there, Doc? Oh, sound as if Doc may have hung up, or may have lost him. I just want to add a little bit more about the Georgetown Baca there. We used to call it, me and my friends like Nate Solomon and Norman Williams, when we go up there fishing, we call it going in the sound. And they also had the turtle crawls. Marin and others had their turtle crawls in the North Sound as well. And those crawls consisted of the mangrove cut and put down into the into the sea, preventing the turtles from coming out. And in that area there were some large, huge tar ponds as well. Of course, Marin used to keep their cat boat in that area as well, right on the dock itself, which they would use to go to bring the turtles in. And we used to use the Marin cat boat to go and fish as well, tie up alongside the mangroves and catch the grunts and the mangroves and stuff like that in that area as well. So that was extremely exciting to us. I have about 4 minutes before we go to our next commercial break. Miss Susan, the clock is out. The clock is out as well, so I'm unable to see the time there. But I'm going to continue on these policy goals. So I talk about effective border controls, fair and transparent decision making to ensure fairness, transparency, consistency in the decision making process, effective enforcement and compliance, ensure effective enforcement of immigration policies while upholding human rights and international obligations, maintaining a balance between security and individual freedoms as well. Folks, we, like Dr. Mark Freelis pointed out, we have a lot on our plate here, and if there are things that we want to achieve, if there are things that we want to retain as our Caymanian heritage, as our Caymanian norms, we have a lot of work to do to correct those things that have already gone awry and to ensure that there's no further intrusion into our values, into our morals, into our way of life as well. So while I see here where the British Virgin Islands are have a forward-looking policy or policies, that I say to them, be careful what you wish for. Ensure that they not only become fancy words and fancy phrases and fancy aspirations, but ensure that you can keep the promises that you have made to your people, to ensure that the demographics are what you want, to ensure that your heritage and your culture is not adversely affected by your immigration policies as well. Because, unfortunately, it is quite possible for you to reach the point of no return, to reach that point where, sorry, you've already gone too far, not much you can do about it now as well. That reminds me, that gives me the opportunity to speak. I saw some comments in relation to the government purchase of property and some arguments being made that the government should be the money should be spent more on sustaining, on sustainability in terms of our lands, our wetlands and everything else. But the beachlands is part of that sustainability as well. They say, well, when you if you're securing beach property, if you're going to pave the parking lots and then you're going to put sanitary facilities, and that those are likely to affect the environment as well. We don't necessarily have to. We can keep our beaches in their natural state, because there are those persons who enjoy their beaches in their natural state as well. But it is unfortunate, because we have so many cars in the Cayman Islands, that all of our development is centered around accommodating vehicle owners as well. That is extremely unfortunate in itself. We do have a caller. We're going to take our last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
This spring, say hello to Los Angeles. Explore foodie havens, local markets, art exhibitions, cultural shows, theater, you name it. Getting to LA is easy with 2 non-stop flights weekly aboard Cayman Airways. Midweek airfares are now on sale from just $410 CI round trip. Some conditions apply. Check out our socials for more inspiration and visit CaymanAirways.com to book. Sale ends February 14th. Now is the time to see LA your way.
Welcome to a new year with Digicel. Elevate your mobile experience by switching to our prepaid or postpaid plan. Enjoy more data, seamless communication, and uninterrupted entertainment. Plus, make the switch now for a chance to win exciting rewards. Stay connected, entertained, and make 2024 your year with Digicel. Because better connections make a better year.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report, Monday through Friday, is proudly sponsored by CG Britk. Insurance, health, pensions, life, where people come first.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I am made to understand that the roads of the Cayman Islands, that things are slow moving as well, which may be an indication that those road closures are still, or at least some of them are still in place as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. How are things over in our sister island?
A little devastation throughout the island, but things of neglect is what caused these things to happen. And when I was listening to Dr. Markfield there, I had to agree with him. Years ago, the old people didn't believe, OC, on clearing the waterfront because of the same purpose of when weather arrives, the great trees will shield the shores from the water entering onto the roads. It's a protection. It's a
barrier.
And that is what caused the problem, especially up around the watering place area. They just had cleared out one big section there, and it caused a devastating effect of the stuff going straight back, all the way back about 200 feet to some older folks' home, which is almost level with the ground.
Mm-hmm.
These things happen, and I remember way back from 1980 when we had hurricanes coming here from Hurricane Arlen, which was one of the worst hurricanes to hit Cayman Brac beside Paloma. When Arlen devastated the Eastern District, we had, don't know how we could get back on our feet was the military had to come in and help. Paloma came and destroyed, but Paloma came mostly with wind. It didn't have much seas. This little common northwester that we have here, we used to have them down in the 80s and things. But why I say that, when we used to have them down in the 80s, we had a gentleman at the port by the name of Sheridan Walton, very knowledgeable seaman. And when these type of weather would come around, you do not estimate Mother Nature power. He would take those containers and he would put them in the front of the warehouse facing the road. Or he would take them as much as he could and put them on higher ground, which is back of the warehouse across the street. And they also had a gentleman there by the name of Ashton Borden, and he took the same technique and used to use it the same way. Now today, they have a mentality of doesn't matter what type of weather. They saw what Paloma did. Paloma took the containers and almost threw them right completely over the fence. And this little weather came and pushed the containers in other someone else's property and all across the compound and just damaging everything else that they just put up there, a brand new fence detector and everything else.
Wow.
But the negligence of people underestimating Mother Nature, the weather, and taking it for granted and not learning from what the older folks used to do under these circumstances. And I have to agree with Dr. Steve when he said that those containers, when this type of weather coming around, supposed to be moved. They used to do it years and years ago. Why today, modern time, they still not, they got hammer trucks that can pick these containers up and take them on the bluff out of the way of harm. They wouldn't have had that mess that they have up there today with containers piled up upon everything else that they can try to drag up. It's a mess.
So do you think someone should be held accountable for that?
Well, I wouldn't put it upon my head to say somebody should be held accountable, but they need to have someone with knowledge and understanding to know that when these type of weather come around, take your first opportunity to go into your first phase of emergency. Think about the compound first. Clear compound. Move the crane across the street, or what they used to do, like I said, they used to take her on higher ground somewhere else. Move your equipment. Move your containers. I can't say that someone should be held accountable because that would be putting my head on a chopping block. But they need to be some type of acknowledging that they need training, or someone need training in order to understand that when these things come around, to make sure you cover yourself first. And I don't know how much things we have to go through like this in order to learn from. I just don't get it. When I see it, I have to shake my head and I said, they're supposed to learn from Paloma. This should have never had happened with a nor'wester. This should have never had happened up on that dock.
And we knew that it was going to be severe. We were warned that it was going to be a strong norther.
Yes, we were warned. And they took it for granted and didn't move absolutely nothing. They didn't move nothing. And it's sad to know that today now they look and say, oh, we wish we had did this and did that. But how much time they got how to be taught? It's sad. I mean, come on, man. We're trying to grow day by day by learning from our mistakes. But it seems like we sit down on our mistakes and don't try to learn. I don't get it.
So then how can't we then hold someone accountable for this? If the person is put there to direct or to manage that facility, shouldn't we be holding them responsible?
Well, I quite agree, because let's say, for instance, if I had a 200-foot container that was stuck up there now waiting to clear it, and that weather came through and damaged that container with my stuff in it, I would have to hold someone accountable. So I guess, yes, you can say yes, they should hold someone accountable. But, you know, I know how things operate around here.
No, I understand that I understand that you're the position that you're in, being in the back. So that's why I just keep repeating it. I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything like that, but just being tactful.
And I mean, you can drive to the island, and every place that has protection from the ocean is untouched, untouched. And every way that has a gap, the sea come right through. And it only took spot bears. I don't know why. Spot bears were the only one that didn't clear their grape trees and juniper trees and things from the bayside, because they protected their properties by using that. And now today everybody want to see the ocean. What is to see out there when you got something about 20 feet coming towards your house? You can't stand up and look at that. And I don't understand. I don't understand. See, I don't know. I really and truly, I wish the people could be more sorted in their mind for these kind of events and realize these things can happen. And it was one of the mercy of God that it was no worse, because I checked the weather, the tide chart, and that weather came in according to Cayman Islands tide chart, 1 o'clock that night. That was a low tide. According to the chart, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You can look back and choose the tide chart. 1 o'clock was low tide. Or see, if that was high tide, it wasn't going to be nothing on this north side that left. Nothing.
Got you. Yeah.
Nothing. And anyway, I just, and it hurt me to see, you know, La Esperanza. My old friend there, Buster, he put a lot of work, even though it's a bar, he put a lot of work into it.
Yes, a lot of investment.
And to see how much he lost there, I mean, what can you do? It's right next to the sea, and partially it's under the level, or it level the sea, even though it has a sea breaker. But all the sea breaker does is hold the container water inside. So, you know, it's really a mess. But I hope the people learn. I really hope they learn. And even if they have to be held accountable, I hope they learn from it.
Yes. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that. We hope that everything is put back in order fairly soon, you know, as far as the BRAC is concerned. Hope that the dock itself is not adversely affected to the point where it may impact on the delivery of goods to Brackers as well. We will continue to monitor the situation, and please keep us informed of what's happening as well. Folks, like I said earlier, I'm seeing photos here of so much traffic as well. One of our listeners has written and said, well said, Dr. Steve. It is so true about anyone standing for Caymanian standards and then being thrown out. And this one says, can you please inquire whether the government sold the Georgetown Back-A-Dare, and there's a narrow strip of land west of the Back-A-Dare. Can the district council recommend that government purchase this piece of property? Developers are surrounding it with development at a fast pace. This person questioned, how many born Caymanians do we have working in our immigration department? Okay. I think, well, I don't know question how many born Caymanians. It was always a policy that if you weren't Caymanian, that is born or received Caymanian status by grant, that you weren't employed at the immigration department. In my days, that was the case. After I left, it was still the case. Not sure what the case is now, but we'll try to find out. We can put that in the form of FY request as well. This person says, I hope that the news article that says Premier is considering pulling back the increase in stamp duty for high-end properties is incorrect and misquoted, as that would be simply ridiculous. Once again, the developers / real estate and wealthy will continue to have the upper hand if the Premier does that. Let me read one more. A person goes on to say, do you think that Frank Schilling project might get the full green light now on the BRAC? Or maybe they will see that cutting into the shore even more, that they will destroy the entire side of the island as well. Folks, we've reached that time, 10 o'clock. I want to thank all of those who participated, all of you who have listened in as well. We urge you to continue to support Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for talk today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient.
Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And now, Barbados. And Digicel, Cayman's bigger, better network.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is